Middlemen.
Hello there. It is another Middlemen session where we don't just talk, we probe. In a country where silence is survival and questions feel like rebellion, we dare to ask anyway. We dig beneath the headlines, strip away the slogans, and confront the chaos we have all learned to live with. Our jurors are ever ready to speak truth to power with their punchy cases. Juror Henry Igwebuike exposes how real estate companies are scamming unsuspecting Nigerians by selling promises instead of properties. His case titled Real Estate Fraud and the Silence of Regulatory Authorities calls for a serious reform and a system that protects buyers. Juror Olajumoke Alawode-James reflects on how Nigerians react to President Buhari's passing in a case titled Rest President Buhari. The case highlights the pain many still feel over his time in office, from injustice to broken promises, and questions a culture that asks us to stay silent even in truth. Juror Emeka Madunago challenges the rising belief among young Nigerians that education is a waste, arguing instead for its enduring value in a world obsessed with fast success. His case is titled School is Not a Scam. And I, Juror Evans Ufeli, uncovers the deep roots of police brutality, corruption, and the disturbing silence from Delta State leaders. My case focused on the sick Ndokwa protester held in custody, denied medical attention and basic dignity. My case is titled The Injustice Faced by Stanley Adoh. These cases and more will be in right after this quick break. This is still the Middlemen, and we'll bring you, and we'll be back later.
Middlemen. Middlemen. Middlemen.
My case. Thanks for staying tuned. The injustice faced by Stanley Adoh. The unlawful detention of Stanley Adoh of the Light Up Ndokwa protest has thrown a glaring spotlight on the alarming issue of police brutality and negligence in Nigeria, particularly within Delta State region. As every citizen has the inherent right to life, liberty, and security, the Nigerian police force must be held accountable for their actions or lack thereof in protecting these basic rights. The refusal of the police to provide medical assistance or grant access to treatment is not just an affront to one individual. It is an indictment of the entire law enforcement system meant to serve and protect the populace. On July 16, 2025, Stanley Adoh took ill, a situation that should have prompted immediate medical intervention, especially given that he was in police custody. However, the police opted to ignore his deteriorating condition while asking us for a 200,000 naira bribe to attend to him. This corruptive negligence highlights a fundamental problem: the prevalent disregard for human life and dignity, particularly among those who have fallen into the hands of the law enforcement agency, is unassailable. Police force appear to be more concerned with criminality and maintaining useless authority rather than fulfilling their primary duty to ensure that the safety and well-being of every citizen, regardless of their status or situation. Moreover, it is alarming to witness the silence and inaction from the leadership of Delta State government, the Governor Sheriff Oboruwere and the Deputy Governor Sir Monday Onyema. Their role entails overseeing the operations of law enforcement within their jurisdiction, and their lack of intervention in this matter raises serious questions about their commitment to justice and human rights. The indifference of state leadership to the plight of ordinary citizens speaks volumes about the systemic failure that plagued Nigerians' governance and justice system. The promise made under God to uphold police accountability for any harm that befall Stanley Adoh is not merely an emotional response. It is a declaration of resolve by the Ndokwa community. We are tired of sitting idly while our rights are violated, while our voices are silenced, and while our loved ones suffer. The time has come for the community to stand united and demand accountability, not just for Stanley, but for every individual who has been wronged by the criminal justice system. Let the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetukun, recognize the gravity of this situation and take immediate action. His leadership is vital in the restoration of faith in our police force that has increasingly become synonymous with brutality rather than protection. To the Commissioner of Police in Delta State, CP Aboniwonda Olufemi, your role is crucial in defining the relationship between law enforcement agencies and the citizens they serve. It is time that the police be made to adhere to protocols that prioritize the ethical treatment of detainees, starting with the provisions of medical care. The community of Ndokwa deserve justice. We deserve a police force that operates with integrity and without bias. It is imperative that our leaders heed to this call for the sake of justice. Otherwise, we risk diminishing the value of human life and dignity, which are supposed to be the cornerstone of our society. We owe it to Stanley Adoh and every citizen suffering in silence to push back against the systemic failure. Your silence is complicity. Your inaction is a betrayal. Let us rise together in the pursuit of justice, accountability, and a better society. Ndokwaba Mama, I shall go to Rabbi again.
Ndokwa Mama.
Ndokwaba Mama, that is, let Ndokwa be great. Or let Ndokwa be good.
It's a perennial issue, actually, and this speaks to the issue of moral disengagement. That is when those in authority detach ethical feelings just to promote their violent traits. That's what we've seen with our Nigerian police force. And apart from that, we have issues like desensitization, where they totally remove their emotions, just to promote the violent acts that they give to people. So this is not a new thing coming from the Nigerian police. It's been there for quite some time. I guess what we should rather be talking about here is how can we, if possible, retrain our Nigerian police force? Because the truth remains, it's not like they don't know how to treat people that are within their confines. They understand how to do that. But the problem is because of the institutionalized violence that we have, you see them becoming part of the rot that we try to, if possible, reduce. I do not know how we can solve this holistically because it's been there for quite some time. And I do not know.
Without trying to malign the Nigerian police, whoever named them the Nigeria Police Force, putting force in their name, knew that they were established as a as a system for the oligarchs to hold on to power, right? They will never treat a Dangote, even if he commits a crime, like the way this gentleman has been treated, But the politicians like the Nigerian police force like that. That's why they will use them as escorts. Have 4 or 5 of them, go everywhere with them. If there is a threat or of attack on them, they want them like that. What we need to do, because government after government, we've spoken about reforming them. In 2020, we went all out, saying, you must end SARS, end Nigerian police force, end this, end that. They changed their name from SARS to SWAT. Nothing changed. It's still the same mentality. What we need, I think, is to leave them to be escorting politicians the way they are and create community policing, right? Where each community, is in charge of getting its own vigilante groups and things like that. Have them maybe trained by the military or paramilitary. Have them be able to carry small arms, maybe, I don't know. But because, by the time you start to put arms into the hands of different people in different communities, But again, if you don't know what the next person is carrying, you'll be cautious when you approach them. But I think that community policing is the way to go, where we're in all of us have estates where we hire security guards to man our gates because we do not trust the police force to be available when there's serious crime. But let me just have 200,000 naira like they've asked them for and accuse him wrongly now. They will come and carry him first, detain him, torture him to the extent he will confess to what he didn't even do. And I've seen that happen over and over and over. That's why when we pray the prayer, may Nigeria not happen to you, it's because of situations like this.
But don't you think at the same time, even as we speak to Nigeria as reference, if you go to Kenya, it's still the same issue, right? The police brutality. Just the last concluded a protest that they did, about 10 people were killed. Larry Adoh, the CNN reporter in Africa, he was in Nigeria, in Enugu, when he learned that the police force had warned that he should not come back to Kenya. So he didn't even make it to Kenya as at the time they held the protest there because he was scared he was going to be arrested. So I do not know, is it an African thing?
Well, there's police brutality in the US, and again, it's usually targeted at the blacks because they profile the blacks, that they're the ones who commit a lot of the crimes. You find a black man even in Europe, you are also profiled, Maybe it's only in the UAE that you see that their police are very friendly, they're more willing to help you, their arms are concealed, Again, Africans have started showing our faces in the UAE to the extent they're banning Nigerians from age 45 and under, don't even come at all. And you must have trillions in your account and things like that. So the point is, there's police brutality all over the world. But where there are no consequences, right? In Nigeria, there's hardly any consequence for you to... The Nigerian police will say to you that I will kill you and nothing will happen. Most times nothing does happen.
Yes.
In all over the world where there's police brutality, you can file a case and the person is maybe punished if found guilty. Some of them will go scot-free because of
damages.
Yeah, so our policemen keep disappointing us. This case falls under the heat of passion for me because I was directly involved in this whole thing where they were asking for money, and we beckoned on them, 2 lawyers. We had to fight them to the point where we argued up to the CP's office, okay, and they backed down and apologized. But what is important is the intent, the initial intent to extort a man that is in detention to start with, who did not commit any offense, who fell ill in detention. By the laws of this country, if you are under police custody or under any of the law enforcement custody, when you are ill, they are supposed to provide you with medication. When you are hungry, they are supposed to provide you with food. How be it the quality of the food does not matter right now. It is their responsibility once you are under their
because they're the ones who held you
to provide all you need to stay alive.
Yes.
You understand? That is why the prison authority had to budget so much money for food, toiletries, all those things to take care of in me. Because the moment you are called a suspect, or the moment you are taken into custody and you lose your right to movement and some other rights, you understand? The state now owns you, and the state is supposed to take care of your welfare. That is the law. Whether the state is underfunding the police or they are underfunding, it's not your business. That they are underfunding does not mean you should die.
Very true.
Yeah, they should provide these things, and we made them to understand that they must provide all those things. So when they put up resistance, we too will heighten the situation, and we have to land somewhere.
How is the gentleman doing? Hope he's in high spirits.
Yes, he's doing well, knowing that his people are behind him. Of course, he did not commit any offense. But the problem is that the state government, because they don't have any case, they are rigmaroling. First, you say that you are charging him for conspiracy. Can a man conspire against himself? Because he's alone, he's the only one. I mean, you say he destroyed railway. There's no railway in Kwale.
Yeah, well.
There's no railway in Kwale. You say he committed malicious damage of property and whatever it is. The police were the ones who came there and introduced violence into the protest and the rest of that. So the charge is a complete sham. And that is why they are moving from one court to the other.
It's very reminiscent of Nigerian police to do things like, as you are mentioning all the situation in this case, it's just reminding me of El Zagzaki. They blocked the highway, they touched the chief of army staff in his chest, the public disturbance, they murdered somebody, and then they held him for years. The court kept on saying, release him on bail. He's ill. He needs to attend to his health care. They helped from 2015 December to 2021 August. He was going back and forth to the courts.
Back and forth. So
almost the entire length of Buhari's tenure, 8 years.
They will tell you that Buhari didn't know
that
about
he
it.
did well. That is the conversation I had in one of the teams when we were analyzing Buhari, and I said
don't worry, we will still analyze Buhari today.
That he brook laws and all that.
Yes, he was a military man, and his training was not democratic in any way.
Yes, so the police should save us this thing.
Or is it possible that because the police have served for too long under military dictators, they've become, rather than being the democratic way, of maintaining law and order, they have become an institution of forcing people to
a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
The police have been there with their wickedness before the army was even started. The police started in 1930. The army started 30 years after, 1960. You understand? So the police already had their own, they were formed already.
No, but you remember that the colonial police force, right?
Yeah, that's the police force.
They were used against their brothers, if you remember. Which is why I'm saying that the person who named them Nigeria Police Force knew what they wanted to use them for. It was against the people.
But that we've come a long way from that.
Yeah.
And to imagine that Showore is protesting for them.
All of us in NSAS protest, we're not protesting for them.
But interestingly, Canada now has said, the Canadian courts, they've thrown out 3 cases by 3 Nigerian police officers asking for asylum.
For where?
They describe the police in very uncharitable terms.
Yeah.
But they won't learn, and that is the sad thing.
It's been institutionalized for them to be wicked, to be honest. Except you are willing to pay before they play ball.
Okay, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, Juror Henry Igwebuike's case titled Real Estate Fraud and the Silence of Regulatory Authorities will be coming right up. Stay tuned for more to come.
Middlemen. 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 Middlemen.
The punching of jurors. In the hallowed halls of justice, where echoes of truth intertwine with whispers of despair, there stands Olajumoke Alawode-James.
We're protesting for.
If you look at the NSAS, you look at the rule of law that he handled anyhow, the way he liked, and the economy, politics, governance.
But I put it to you, sir,
You know that
Nigeria deserves the kind of government we get.
Whatever.
Because if our parents, so I will allow you to disagree, sir. If our parents witnessed his tenure as head of state, when
They
he
are the
was
ones
busy
who
kidnapping,
sold-
they were the ones who
sold
sold
their
him.
idea.
Yeah, he will tell you how when he was PTF chairman, how he tied the road to his parents' house.
No, yes, but that didn't make him fantastic, because in the Niger Delta he failed.
Yeah, well,
There were no hospitals, there were no roads. He just managed in some places.
But I thought he started the recleaning or the cleaning up of the.
with his mouth.
No,
with
they didn't
his
want-
mouth.
No, gonna clean up.
Gonna clean
With
up.
It
his
was just
mouth.
the high rep
It didn't
failed.
happen.
Just pack sand and
You
go
see,
put-
Buhari was
he-
just an
he-
average person. He usually had a way of, bringing some funny characters around him.
He constructed the
And-
road to Maradi.
Yes,
That had
even
just
railway.
30 kilometers.
The
into
railway
Nigeria.
has been
The man is
completed
from
now.
Niger.
When
Yes,
they asked
his father
him,
was from Niger, and
when
his mother was a Kanuri.
when they asked him on Arise TV why he did that, he said his cousins are there.
Yes, now he has to go and visit his cousin.
Then he bought SUVs and many vehicles and donated it to Nigeria.
So
He even gave
And then he
Afghanistan.
denied
Remember,
it.
he gave Afghanistan $1 million.
He denied it.
Even when Nigeria was in the-
Niger was thanking us for the donation. Meanwhile, Nigerian government was denying the donation.
Have you forgotten that the two governors in Niger Republic came to an APC rally
There,
to campaign for Buhari?
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
pardon me for interrupting you. What I wanted to say when I mentioned that we deserve the kind of governments we get is that which school of leadership did a former military head of state that our parents told us how they used to line up to buy milk, and they spoke of the horrors. Some of them say, oh, he was disciplined, we need him to come and clean up Boko Haram, because that was what they used against the Jonathan government in 2014, that Chibok girls abduction, they are killing boys in Yobe and all of that. But which school of leadership did he go to, a former military head of state, that will make him a Democrat?
He was leading his cows. The cows that never gave birth.
No, it's just a
The
dull.
cows that never multiplied.
It's just a dull man. Was he not in Sandos? Was he not in the?
Go on. It was go on.
No, it
Go
was
on
go
went to
on.
Sandos.
But he was in the military school. The military
Yeah.
academy. There is
in the
no
UK. Yeah.
see. There is no school in this country that will teach you leadership like the military will do it, as deep as the military will do it. Because I understand.
That's why the British monarchy
Yes,
sent
I
their
understand.
children.
Yes, to the
military.
military. Because I understand. Because my dad was an Air Force officer, and I understand the kind of leadership he gave us, which led to our success. So he's just a man that is dull. He's just dull. Otherwise, the training he got, he would have been able to make a difference. He couldn't. Then the older generation kept telling us that he was the redeemer. He was the only one.
The Messiah.
Then I was confused, because looking at his intellectual quotient and his weak understanding of precept and concept, can this one lead anybody anywhere? That was my
Anyway,
question.
if he did not become president again in 2015, he
Oh,
would have been saying that
the
he was the
famous
best
quote
president.
of Ojukwu.
That never happened.
That Awolowo was the best president
That
Nigeria
never had.
You see,
But God allowed him to come back so that we can demystify him.
the thing about Buhari.
Not only
And
did
then,
he
I was
fail,
old enough when he was head of state. Buhari, there was nothing fantastic. It was just brutality and oppression. They couldn't really do anything.
so, but you people sold him to us now.
Well, I know I campaigned for him, but it was because Jonathan. We told Jonathan as early as 2012, take steps, do certain things.
No, Jonathan
Deal
was
with
just
Boko Haram, but Jonathan was just afraid.
He was
If
just
I
a
use
victim.
40% of my past, Jonathan used 100% of the past. Deal with Boko Haram. He was sleeping until
He was clueless.
It got to time for election, then he now brought in those Bettiners and all of that from South Africa. That was the reason why Jonathan was thrown out, because
okay,
you
threw out a clueless man and brought in a lifeless man.
No,
there are so many things actually.
There were people around him that we thought would have made a difference. But the interesting thing,
I don't know why Nigeria believed in him like that. It was too much.
It was just
My mother that told me the horror stories of 1983 to 85
honestly,
believed in him. I don't understand the juju.
Everywhere you go, they're saying it's only one.
But now that he has now come and done 2 years of failure, 2 terms of failure,
At the expense of Nigerians.
and a lot of Nigerians died with him.
Before Buhari came,
They are even saying that the blood of them stars people that
before Buhari came, my skin was fresher than this. I was fair.
But your salary was 25,000.
Yeah, my salary was 25,000 before he came. Look at me now. Just see me. Look at.
there are so
See the way I'm looking now.
lights and shades.
I lost my job, I lost my business, my factory collapsed
None of
because
us
of Buhari.
we lost everything.
Nigeria happened to all of us. All of us under Buhari. If Nigeria didn't happen
Some of
to
those
you,
people around him, they made it too.
they made it.
The people who approved in the National Assembly, who approved $50 billion.
I know somebody
ways and
around.
means.
I know somebody around him that made it, but she was also saying that when you make it and then in front of your house every day there are people begging, they have not paid my rent,
have
I've not
you
paid
made?
you.
You can't
What have
even
you made?
sleep. You can't sleep.
Yorubas will say that lowo kan láàrin òtòṣì, one rich man in the midst of plenty poor person is also a poor person.
You can't sleep peacefully now.
The truth is that Buhari failed 3 times. One was 1983. I remember I just watched an epic video of when he was inaugurating the governors in January of 1984, and he mandated them that any Nigerian who hoards food, they should deal with him so very well. It was very clear. It was lucid in saying that. Okay, and what happened afterwards was so very glaring. Couple of days back, the son of Musa Yar'Adua, late Musa Yar'Adua, wedded, and Nigerians came in drove and congratulated him, said how much his father, was instrumental to who they are, and so on and so forth. And the question I asked while I was watching that was, would we say that of the children of our current
Buhari?
leaders?
We didn't curse out, if not because of his handlers and the way they handled his death and all the secrecy around it, we didn't curse out Yar'Adua when he died. He was a sick man.
Yes.
But we felt his impact in the 2 years that he was in government. And the economy that he left for Jonathan, he went to the top. Until 2014 when we rebased.
Got to $60 billion.
We had plenty money. In fact,
He reduced the price of
we were shouting at Jonathan that he was clueless, everybody was stealing around him. Okay, now we now brought in lifeless to come and
No,
finish
Jonathan
it
was
all
weak.
up.
We now brought iron
Iron fist.
iron pen.
I didn't know what was happening. Every time they asked him what your son, no,
He was never aware. And a lot of the things that he said, remember when he lost elections in 2010, a lot of youth corps members were killed. Not once he
800
condemned.
Nigerians were
Then
killed.
once he became president, it was Boko Haram we knew of. Then bandits, all Fulanis.
that we survived him is a miracle. I'm telling you.
Thank God that
Not many people survived him. A lot of people had to go.
The people that survived
Over
Buhari,
11 million jobs didn't survive.
the people that survived Buhari are the ones who are cursing him out.
I just
Let
sincerely
everybody
hope
say
that-
their truth.
Yes, I just sincerely hope that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will learn from all of this, because
no.
we
That
are
one
not just
doesn't learn anything. No. That one is
Our leaders don't there. They know they hear
that one is always high.
word.
Doesn't know where he's.
He doesn't even know where it's.
We will step away for a quick break, but when we return, Juror Emeka Madnagu will be here to present his case titled "School is Not a Scam." We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Thanks for staying tuned. My case. School is not a scam. It's so heart-rending these days to hear young Nigerians saying that getting an education is a waste of time. In their words, they say school is a scam, like on the streets. By that, they mean that you get nothing from getting an education. They say that with so many graduates roaming the streets in search of jobs, it's a waste of time going to school. That's the wrong way to view the issues of life. Really farcical that the Nigerian economy hasn't accommodated all graduates in jobs doesn't invalidate the essence of getting an education. They say that it's better to go into runs, bracket prostitution, and Yahoo, read fraud, than to go to school and find your level in life. They get carried away by the glees and glamour displayed by Nigerian politicians and money misruled business people who cannot account for the wealth they throw about. Some can't even spell their names properly, nor can they write a complete sentence. They think that getting money by any means is the essence of life and living. They think driving flashy cars around and living in fine houses is a measure that one has arrived. My verdict. Going by the lip service being paid by Nigerian leaders to education, including forging certificates, it's tempting to agree that getting an education is indeed a waste of time. But pause and think. Those who invented the gadgets you flaunt were educated people. Those who make policies that guide how you make and spend money are educated. Education opens your mind to the vastness of life and living. It's not a scam. Find your own space in legitimate endeavors and fit in.
Education can never be a scam.
Never be a scam.
You see, I for one, before now, hardly will make a contribution to discourse that have no academic content. I became loose in a bit when I left school. I was very strict. If it's not anything about academics that has to do with your,
It's
studies,
sure for your body now.
I don't listen to anybody.
It's sure for your body.
Yes, I was even to the point where, if you are not schooled, God forgive me.
You cannot be friends.
Yeah, because
What's the foundation of our friendship?
You see, because yes, education is so much.
You have two masters.
See, Aristotle said education is the ornament of prosperity and refuge in adversity. What else will you be? How can you say that education is a scam? School, not scam. It comes from the depth of desolation. It comes from the depth of poverty, the poverty of the spirit. You exude nonsense,
ignorance.
Yeah, because you just feel that those who are richer
than those that went to school.
Those who went to school they don't have job, and so you see, education is not to make you get a job. Education
is to have knowledge.
Education means is from the Latin word educo, to be induced from within. That's what it means. To be induced from within. Your education helps you to develop your inner faculties, to be able to understand the vast territory of what life has to offer, and then your ability to proffer solution to your immediate, remote, and immediate problems. That's exactly what education. It helps you to think on your feet. Okay, it gives you the capacity to do so much in one breath. So that's what education is about. So whoever comes up with the idea that it is a scam and you will not get work, you will not get jobs, is a lazy person. It's lazy, not just mentally, it's lazy intellectually. His future is foreclosed.
Even lazy spiritually.
Yes, his future is foreclosed, because even the Holy Writ, as old as the Holy Writ is, Daniel in the Bible says, I understand by books. I understand through books, yes. Even when the Pharisees were confused, and they came to him and said, according to the law of Moses, this, that. Like if a man marries a woman, the man dies. Another one married a woman, that one dies. The third one married a woman,
who will be the husband in heaven?
At the end of the day, who are you going to say the husband?
You see the ignorance, you see the level of their thought process.
Yeah, you know what Jesus told them? He said,
there's neither marriage or anything like that.
He told them that you lack
think at the level.
They lack understanding because they don't read.
That's it.
You understand? Have you not read? That's what he told them. Have you not read? That's the first thing. Have you not read? Yeah, go study to see yourself.
He was the Christ. But you know how many years he spent reading?
Even King Josiah, as young as he was not 8 years or so, as young as he was as a king, the first thing he told them to do was to bring the scrolls.
All the scriptures.
Yes. Bring the scrolls for him to go through.
Let them read history.
Yeah, that's the rabbi. When what do you call it? This if you have seen the movie Alexander the Great, okay, when he became the king, they had to bring Aristotle. Aristotle had to leave close to him. Then one day he looked at Aristotle and told him that, why can't you attack the East? Why? I mean, look at the whole, we conquered it, why can't we attack the East? And you know what Aristotle said? The East have a way of swallowing men with their dreams. Knowledge, it's critical.
And it's even, do you know the most tragic aspect of it is that Africans civilized the Greeks.
Very true.
So how can Africans, the Greeks civilized, the West, how can an African
still come and saying that
education,
school is
school is scam?
When
we already had,
no, so formal education may seem like a scam to them, because before the British brought their formal education, we had our African ways, like civilization started in Africa.
Yes.
We had our African ways of passing down our trade, our businesses to children so a goldsmith would train their child in the business. Somebody who sells moi would train their child in the business. So there was no excuse for you to be jobless. There was a family business to take over, to learn about, and then to provide service. But when you now brought formal education, where you will say, because I only speak my traditional language, I do not understand English, I'm not brainy enough, to go and learn mechanical engineering and things like that. Meanwhile, we had ways of doing our own things. We had binary systems and all sorts of, they said, that all the IFA books, that we didn't have records. That's what's different. It's not true. Professors that studied IFA, they have books.
It was from IFA.
There were records.
It was from IFA they created Google.
Google
is IFA,
Juror Emeka reminded me that I have 2 masters there. I usually forget because I don't gather the certificates because I want to have certificates. By the grace of God, all my 3 certificates, I've never used any of them to look for a job. I'm just seeking knowledge. In 2022, I applied for a PhD because I was saying, hold on, social media has changed the industry. You cannot be using the old theories. What's applicable now?
New?
I could not go and do another master's. Now PhD remain. Not because I'm looking for the certificate, it's knowledge. And to use that as a typical example, you can have all the money in the world by coming to it by fluke. You didn't study journalism, you are doing skits, but somebody who studied journalism and understands the mindset of the audience, the theory of why the audience does the things that he does, the way he does it, and he's producing programs for them because they have that knowledge, not because they have BSc or MSc. By the time they are doing their own, there's longevity in their business. You will be multi-billionaire today and be poor tomorrow because you do not know how to build and sustain
and scale
a business.
And how to scale.
And Jumoke, you see, what you're saying now is so very deep. In psychology, there's what we call pre-sleep and daydreaming syndrome. And that is when people live in the figment of their imagination. They feel that, like he said, education is a scam. And that is where we see situations where Pella, who is a school dropout, is putting out adverts for master holders to come apply to be videographers. Right? In his figment.
He wants to tell us that their education is a waste.
He just wanted to mock them.
Mock them. So much so that 20 applicants came and he made a mess out of them. He used them to create further contents to make money.
That's the lack of education.
But again, if you look at those master's degree holders,
Nigeria has happened to them, sir. Don't blame them.
I will blame them. You know why I will blame them? Your motivation must come from within. You know one thing I've learned? Look at my age. I've learned certain things that look, opportunities will come to you if you look left, right. When you want to cross the road.
Yeah, mechanic story
when you want to cross the road, just a minute.
Master's degree holder that doesn't have bread to eat. And they're advertising cameraman of 500K in Nigeria of today. Even me, we go and apply.
Why do you not have bread to eat? Why?
Why don't you have bread to eat?
Why can't they create jobs?
You must be self-motivated.
Which degree does he have?
What does Pella have that he will give to you? Is it not talent? Just talent to make people laugh.
And you, as a master degree holder, you should be as a master degree holder, you should be discerning enough to know that boy only wants to mock people.
Yes, exactly.
Those masters people, they know nothing.
Yes.
Their master did
Those
it
who
waste.
they collected it. Somebody did the exam for them.
When I listened to Pella when I was talking about it, I couldn't have been there. No way. Because I know this one want to mock.
Yes.
So if the fact that you are not discerning enough, you showed up.
Yes.
Means you have failed already.
Nigeria have
Value
also.
exchange.
Not Nigeria. You have failed in life already.
They happen to Nigeria.
No, do you know what? I will prefer to be on my farm, within my farm, cultivating my cassava, because I know that, you see, one of the things that this world will never, that AI will never displace and all that, is cultivating food.
Because food is king.
It's king. So when you are parading degrees up and down,
I want to start.
They America, I wanted to attack you first. That, wait. Is it not money you will use to buy the farmland? Then I remember somebody that said that you are sleeping under bridge in Lagos, but your family land in the village is there. There's this Nigerian rapper, Eva Longodia. Alawode-James. She showed us that why everybody jackpot into America. She jackpot back to the village to go and take care of her parents. And if you see the plenty fresh, we're looking at the fish and our mouth was watering like this.
You can go back to the village and start.
Go back to the village and go and farm.
But you know what young person sang one song, said, "Go back village, no be my portion."
That's what they do. They don't carry religion. They don't carry religion and say, as I am now, I want to start selling yam.
It seems like retrogression now. Lawyer, you know how many years you spent in law school before you now become a farmer. There ought to be division of labor. If we had proper structure and we had government that was discerning enough to just build the infrastructure for us to go and empower ourselves. Everybody wants to be skit maker. Who is learning tiling? Who is learning
vocational studies,
carpentry?
Thank you.
Tailoring. Well, we have plenty designers, hairdressing, all the things we used to.
Do you know the funny thing?
Those are life careers. Those are very powerful.
You know the interesting thing.
Outside of your education, you even need that.
Do you know the interesting thing? When you look at people building a house, you just think of, okay, they are plastering it. Do you know beyond plastering? Look at many houses. When you look at the plastering, it's not even. You have people who do screeding.
Screeding as people.
But there are very few people now. You can only get.
Popular.
But where are the people
That's
do
what brings
screeding?
We import them.
Where are the people? I was at a hotel somewhere in Ikeja. You know, I mean.
Should I look at that line of business?
It's not impossible. I was at the hotel. Outside the hotel, I was looking at the exterior. Oh, I shook my head. I said, with all the money that went in, there was no screeding. You could just see the plastering, that this plastering. Maybe it was done in the night. It was done overnight so that they could meet. So those basic things
that we can go and learn.
But everybody is talking of tech skill and all of that.
It's easier to just sit at home on your phone, be coding, be an influencer.
And stay on your farm and stay on the farm. You can be doing your coding on the farm.
You can use AI too to do farming.
Yes,
Yes, now they use AI
to do your farming and everything, and you will be a king. Yes. You will be a king.
But education will be scam, because I could have been a presenter who's just intelligent here, but because of my education, I know camera angle, I know lighting, I know this, I know that, I know what the audience is thinking when I'm talking. I know the business of show, you know. So while you're doing your trade, you may not be a multi-billionaire, but you know about what it is that you're doing. To the extent that when you succeed, your success is not by fluke. It's well planned, and you can maintain and sustain it. Education scam, not at all.
And also, I think this is a clarion call, especially for young people to understand that they usually make this juxtaposition that you go to a business school and the lecturers who teach you are not millionaires.
Many of them are wretched. Yes,
are wretched, while the person who is coming to learn from them is richer than they are. But one thing they don't understand
is wealth.
The skill, the value,
what
exchange.
Is wealth? What is real wealth?
The value exchange of even teaching the millionaire. Yes, the lecturer might not be, but he is impacting.
He doesn't have to be, because the lecturer is a millionaire. He won't be there teaching.
He won't be in class.
So also, very important we understand it from that perspective.
Yeah, very important.
Yes.
Also, let us balance the fact that overlearning and overknowing too have its own problem. You see, there's this guy. Hold on. There's these guys I follow on these Tanzanians I follow on Facebook. They call one Chaba. They call the other one Dudukwe. They are Bushmen.
Oh,
they've never seen.
People,
yes, they've never seen civilization. They've never seen civilization before. They are in the bush killing gorilla and eating the intestine. Gorilla intestine is what they eat. That's what they feed on. Now, some guys discovered them and they took cameras to them and they are teaching them how to pronounce English words gradually, and the rest of that. So somebody made a comment there. He said, the day that these people finally leave this forest and they are now educated, that is the day that the two of them will become enemies.
Yes.
But because of the way they were born in the bush, raised in that bush, they have this love for themselves. This, no greed, they are just so free. But you see, by the time you fully educate them, one of them now discovered that he wants to go solo. And now he has enough.
Like our Nigerian groups.
Our Nigerian musical group.
So that's why King Solomon said in Ecclesiastes that too much learning to have his own problem. But that is
at the end of life, say everything is vanity.
That's by the
But
wayside.
apply as you learn. Apply.
Yes.
And that's a wrap on this session of the Middlemen of Jurors. We've asked the hard questions, heard the cases, and now the verdict is yours to carry forward. Follow the conversation on Enterprise TV 7 across all platforms. Let your voice be a part of the movement for change. Until next time, stay safe and never stop speaking truth to power. From the Middlemen, we say goodbye.
Middleman.